Question number 5, Metiria Turei.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker, tēnā koutou te whare. My question is to the Minister for Social Development and asks, what papers or reports, if any, did her office produce in the last 12 months relating to the measurement of child poverty?
Mr Speaker, in respect of the measurement, none.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
So, can the Minister confirm for the House that she did not seek any reports on the Children's Commissioner's $500,000 project to measure and monitor child poverty, or even seek advice on whether such a measure was necessary?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, I have definitely received reports on child poverty, and I'm part of the Minister's Committee on Child Poverty, but I have not sought from my department an argument on the measurements. We are more interested in the actions that need to be taken, and that's the reports that I expect from my department.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
So, upon whose expert advice did the Minister write off the Children's Commissioner's child poverty monitor work?
Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, it was certainly discussed at the Minister's Committee on Poverty, and that's where the discussion was taking place, and that's the advice that I sought.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Does the Minister see then any connection between the Salvation Army's D-ranking of her failure over child poverty with her express refusal to engage with the Children's Commissioner's Child Poverty Monitor project?
Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, I have heard that it might be D for .com, but what I would say is that the MSD household income report comes out. It does an accurate analysis of a number of measures. We report it transparently and publicly. It is certainly what we on this side of the House take notice of. As I say, it's very transparent. The member can get a copy of it any time, and it is that advice that I take.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
If a parent was given a D for looking after their child, would she consider that they were doing a good job or not?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Paula Bennett.
For me, this gets to the heart of the actual issue. So the member thinks it's only the government and throwing money around and getting into every household and giving them $60 a week for a newborn baby that is going to make the difference. I actually think it's not about government. It's about government, community, parents themselves actually putting their children first in many instances. It's about what's happening in the streets. It's about what organisations like Salvation Army do. So I don't think it is a D for government. And in fact, what the Salvation Army did say is, as a national community, and I quote, we have made credible and worthwhile social progress. It is important to acknowledge and celebrate this because, for the most part, it is intentional and hard-won. The government should be applauded for its contribution to this program.
Supplementary. Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Well then, how does the Minister explain that for all her rhetoric and chest-thumping and political bluster, the reality remains...
Order. Can the member... Order. Order. Would the member like to start her question again?
Thank you, Mr Speaker. How then does the Minister explain that for all her rhetoric, chest-thumping and political bluster, the reality remains that 1 in every 5 children in this country remain living in poverty after 5 long years of her government?
Mr Speaker,
Honourable Paula Bennett.
What we have seen by every measure is that it has flatlined. What we have done through the worst global financial crisis, and people might like to write that off and pretend it didn't happen, but actually what we did was we put more money, more support into those families that really needed it. We are seeing improvements when we look at the number of jobs that are on board, the opportunities for people to take them up, and I'm very confident that you are going to see the real results for that.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Is the Minister refusing to acknowledge the seriousness of 1 in every 5 New Zealand children still living in poverty and actively snubbing the Commissioner's work on monitoring child poverty because she does not want to be held accountable for her failure to make any improvement in the lives of those 1 in 5 New Zealand children?
Honourable Paula Bennett.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was chest thumping. Right, so what we have here is actually I don't agree with the member. This is the government that has introduced a Children's Action Plan. This is the government that has put more emphasis on ECE, that has increased the amount that goes into accommodation help, that's put an emphasis on rheumatic fever, which quite frankly we haven't seen at all. We've got after hours for under 6-year-olds now. We've got food in any school that wants to take it for breakfast. More than $500,000 going to Kids Can to actually help those children. I do take it seriously. I want to see every child in this country thriving and achieving and having the best possible start that they can.
Question number 6, Richard Prosser.